This is Paul. Now, this gross negligence on the part of the city, I would have been told by the charity if they had terminated the rental agreement. Yeah. But somehow I thought that somebody didn't want to use the courts to terminate rental agreements. Today we're going to need to do that. And then they're going to have to get a court order. Yes. That it's not an eviction. No. It's a termination of the rental agreement. Yeah. Where I paid a $150 deposit as a, well, if I had damaged anything. Right. And then I'm going to get my $150 back. Yeah. And the charity's going to have documentation from the court that they no longer can pay the rent where I've been renting. Now we're going to have to do things a little different because the agreement was, yes, that we would have left the utilities on until the 31st. Yes. And I like making agreements as long as both sides do what they say. Oh! Now we have a court system for the very reason of this. Yes. Any time that there's not a termination of occupancy, yeah, as a renter, ooch, it could be that the charity that's been paying the rent never received any official notification from any court, yes, terminating the contractual obligation of the renter and the charity, yes, to pay the rent and the utilities that were a percentage of the actual rent that was being paid. Now, since I feel confident that I have all the necessary evidence, somebody's being very grossly negligent in their obligations. Now, it's not the fault of the attorney representing the individuals. No, he just maybe, or she just maybe, yeah, didn't realize the need, right, to get a court-ordered termination of rental agreement. Yes, so the charity would inform me we're no longer going to pay your rent where you've been residing. Yeah, and then I would be obligated to move because it's a court-ordered termination of contractual obligation. Now, a lot of these contracts have not been important to the city. But today they're important. And as much as I should be scared, I'm not just going to throw all my stuff away. Yes. So I can take this little backpack with me to the homeless shelter. Yes. Because I happen to need the clothing that I have. Yes, he does. And I need to find a place to put it. Yes. If I'm unable to rent the location that I looked at, not last Sunday. Yes. But the Sunday before. Oh. Now, why don't we go ahead and use the courts? Yes. So the charity would know. Yes. They would inform you that we can't pay your rent anymore after the month of February. Yes. And the certification necessary, well, I've been habitually homeless for the last 8.5 years. Yes. It's really been a problem. Yeah. See, my state issued identification was falsified. Huge. I've been arrested multiple times for the accusation of crime. Yes. But the city and the county has refused to admit the evidence that I wasn't in Sequim and I wasn't in Jefferson County. Yeah. And it seemed like the suspension of all rights as American citizens is suspending of the Constitution of the United States. Now, let's look at the United Nations adopted a declaration of the basic principles of justice for victims of crime and abuse of power. You would say, yes, it's abuse of power right now for any utility to cancel the utilities. Yes, any employee of any utility without a court order terminating of a rental agreement. Yeah. Now there are those special situations in the United Nations